Hi everyone, Frank Verni here. I want to welcome you to another edition of Real Estate Help by Frank, and I hope you're having a really good day. You know, many people are wondering what all the talk about a fiscal cliff is and what impact it will actually have on us. Today I'd like to see if I can end a little of the confusion and give you an understanding of what's going on. So what is this fiscal cliff? Well, it refers to more than $500 billion in tax increases and across-the-board spending cuts that are scheduled to take effect on January 1st. Unless Congress can reach an alternative deficit reduction deal. What happens if we go over this cliff? Well, taxes would rise for nearly every taxpayer and many businesses. Financing for most federal programs, military and domestic, would be cut. Many economists say that these new taxes and spending cuts would be just too much happening too quickly for our still weak economy. The Congressional Budget Office has said that this could possibly put us back to another recession, or at the very least, slow down the current recovery. So what tax increases are in store for us? Well, since the tax cuts will expire, the practical effect is a tax increase for us. And about $400 billion of tax cuts will expire on December 31st. Among these are all of the Bush-era rate reductions, as well as the 2% cut in payroll taxes that Obama wanted in 2010, which increased an average worker's take-home pay by about $1,000 a year. Also, about 1 in 5 middle to upper income taxpayers would have to pay the alternative minimum tax for the year 2012, raising their taxes even more because Congress failed to pass the inflation adjustment this past year. And what spending would be cut? Well, there are many cuts, but one of them is the Emergency Unemployment Insurance Program. This could save about $26 billion, but it would end payments to millions of Americans who still remain jobless and have exhausted their state benefits. Also, Medicare payments would be significantly reduced, and the homeowner tax relief for forgiven debt would also go away. The biggest cut, known as the sequester, would be about $65 billion that applies across the board for many federal programs for the year 2013. This cut was mandated by a budget deal between the President and Congress that ended the recent standoff over raising our national debt limit. So is there a best case outcome? Well, obviously getting it all resolved would be great, but most people think this probably isn't going to happen. Many budget experts and economists are hoping for at least a two-part deal. The first part would extend many of the tax cuts and repeal some of the scheduled automatic spending cuts. But it would be continued on the second part, which is a framework for reducing our long-term deficits and overhauling both the tax code to raise revenues and modify our entitlement programs, mostly Medicare and Medicaid, whose rising cost with our aging population is just not sustainable. Such an agreement would set specific targets for new tax revenue and spending cuts to reduce the deficits over the next decade. This would give Congress and the President more time to work out the details. Now, to some degree, our government now stands at a crossroads, and action is absolutely needed. If we do nothing, then we might fall back into another recession, which may damage our economy for many more years to come. Yet if we simply extend everything forward, we will continue to undermine our economy by pledging our future to debt payments from which we may never recover. Maintaining the status quo should not be acceptable. We need some increases to income and some decreases in spending. The challenge to our lawmakers is no different than what we all face each month in trying to bring our personal budgets under control. The test of their leadership will be whether they can work together to make this happen for our nation. Let's hope that they do. Now, if you found this useful and someone you know could use the information, please forward or share it with them. I'd also appreciate any comments below. And by all means, please subscribe to receive further updates. Feel free to contact me if you could use my help or have additional questions. We hope to see you again soon. Thanks, and good luck.